is going on, BW Sports 1? This is time to bet your ass with Raphael Esparza, Monday night, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Raphael, how is it going, brother?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I can't complain. The weekend was good for me on the UFC card. I came in P13. My team came in P13 in a 24-hour Daytona race on iRacing. I'm happy.
Good to hear. I mean, yeah, it was a very festival weekend in my neck of the woods. You had a whole bunch of college hoops. You had hockey. You had NBA. You had soccer, UFC 257, some football games. So it was a nice winning weekend for the books. I mean, the books had a nice with the Packers going down, with McGregor going down. So it was a lot of interesting stuff that went through for us. But you said that you gave off air. You said you had a nice small winning, or I shouldn't say small winning day in UFC 257. So I think we should discuss that. I mean, it was a very interesting card. I mean, a lot. And I don't mean just because McGregor lost. I mean, there was a lot of upsets that came in here. So if you're a UFC parlay bet, which a lot of people are, you had a rough UFC 257. You probably would have wished maybe you would have watched some Gonzaga play basketball on ESPN UFC because you probably did not fare well because of those outcomes.
No, there's a lot of people that are probably, hopefully, not betting what they don't have, but hopefully, just crumbling up those paper. Not hopefully, but they were crumbling up those bet slips and saying, "Well, I'm done," because, like you said, it was the underdog's night.
Yeah, I mean, just Amanda Ribas going down. Khalil Roundtree going down.
Mm-hmm.
I would think those were probably the two bigger ones that had a lot of people on their parlays. Hooker, a lot of people had going down. And I would think he was probably a popular UFC fan better and parlay better just because, hey, I mean, you know this, UFC fans and Bellator fans sometimes could be not the nicest people in the world. So people might have thought, hey, what's this guy coming from Bellator coming into our backyard? I think he's just going to get an easy win. And he did kind of get an easy win. So, yeah, it was very interesting. I mean, I was telling you before we went on the air about I didn't have anything on the Conor McGregor fight, but I was cheering for Conor McGregor. I wanted him to win because I don't know if I said this to you last time, but I think he's just good for the sport. No disrespect to the Diamond. I mean, he whooped his butt. He whooped it and whooped it well. But he's not going to draw the needle. He's not going to draw new fans. He's not global Dustin Poirier. McGregor is global Conor McGregor. His name is all over the world. And I just thought UFC, who doesn't have that global name yet. They still looking, I mean, ever since Ronda Rousey, Brock Lesnar, Tito Ortiz, Chuck Liddell. I mean, list can go on of these global stars. There's no one. I'm sorry, John Jones can't pass a drug test. I can't. He would never be on my GOAT list in the MMA for all the stuff for all the stuff he's did. I mean, he's a great fighter. Don't get me wrong, and I would even say that to his face. I mean, he got busted not once, but twice, but three times. So.
Yep.
He's not that. I mean, he could have. Let's say if he was clean. Let's say if he was LeBron James clean. Because let's face it, we can all say LeBron James, love him or hate him. He's never got arrested for DUI, hitting a girl, all those shenanigans that sometimes athletes get themselves in. And if John Jones was LeBron James clean, he would be up there as the GOAT. He would be up there as probably one of the best MMA fighters or pure fighters in the world to step in a ring / octagon.
I agree with you on that. You know, I think John Jones is one hell of a fighter, but like you said, he can't pass a piss test, or he's doing too much shit off the sidelines per se to do anything with. So yeah, he's never going to be on that caliber fighter as others that you mentioned. So,
are you shocked at Steve Miocic? I mean, I can't wait to watch that fight with him and Nagu. Are you shocked that he's not jumped into that hemisphere of maybe globally or just UFC name-wise? Like we've seen other people in UFC like the Rouseys and Brocks and Connors and
as you know, just like I do, you have to have some type of aura around you to
Yeah.
kind of have that limelight. Brock had it because of the WWE. People knew him. He was already a sensation, air quotes. But he can't pass piss tests because he's hot all the time.
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey, like you said, she was known that put the women's MMA on blast with her taking over and walking away, then moving to WWE. And I agree with you. UFC does not have that, and you said Stipe?
Yeah.
Stipe just doesn't have that aura. I mean, he as a fighter, he's a hell of a fighter. I mean, he does the business inside the octagon, but I don't know if it's intimidating to try to walk up to him to talk or what it is. It's just, and this has no offense to him. I'm going to pull the Raphael card from last week. No offense, but I just don't know if he has that aura to be in the limelight like that.
Who has that aura in the UFC? Who can take care of that torch now that Cormier is gone? Conor McGregor, I mean, unless for some reason he gets back into the octagon and wins, which I don't understand why he wants to fight Poirier for the trilogy for the title, because he just says, I mean, it's a totally different fight. I mean, Poirier attacked his legs. What, do you think he's not going to do it again?
Yeah, and you saw him videos of him walking out with a one crutch after that fight. Man, his leg was tore up, and he is a damn good fighter. Now, back to your question, who do I see has that aura? Man, it's very hard to say one person, because there. And here's the difference when it comes to MMA and combat sports. There's an aura of I'm just excuse my language, a dick, and I'm just gonna talk crap to everybody and anybody. That's the wrong type of aura, I think. Now, Connor did it, but he could also back it up, and he did it in meticulous ways, I should say, with his verbal abuse or assault on people, which was great. That reminded me of the boxing styles when back in the 80s and the 90s, where they'd go at each other and it'd be like a drama out there.
It would get personal, but people liked all that kind of stuff.
Right. As far as somebody that has the aura, honestly, I don't know if there is one right now, and I kind of agree with you. The UFC is looking for that, and I don't know if they're just looking in the right or wrong places. Maybe Jorge Masvidal would be the closest.
Yeah. I mean, Alessandro, I mean, I think if he wins in March 6th against, I can't think who he's fighting, Blachowicz. He's fighting him on March 6th. If he wins, he's got the finesse. He's got, I mean, he was on the pay-per-view of the Tyson fight. So he's trying to put his out there. So it'd be interesting. But that's what I thought about it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you saw my odds who UFC or who Conor McGregor is going to fight next, who Poirier is going to fight next. It'd be interesting. I mean, I think the angle of Conor, I do believe he'll fight at least one. If he'll fight again in the UFC, but if he loses, I think he's done. I don't think he's not going to be like Anderson Silva and Donald Cowboy Cerrone, where he's just going to take fights just to get butt whipped and that's it. I think if he loses his next UFC fight, whoever it is, which I think if I want to see a trilogy, I'd rather him fight Nate Diaz, because Nate Diaz ain't going to attack his leg like Poirier is going to be. So I would not be shocked if it's Nate Diaz go for the third one besides Poirier. Poirier's got his is wide open. I know a lot of people will probably hate that. I think Dana White's going to be not a total dick, but I think he's going to be Chandler. I mean, what he did after his fight and to jump on the mic and do the Ric Flair act, and I mean, if that was on TV with a whole bunch if that was here in the States with a whole bunch of fans, people would have loved that. I think them two go at it for the belts. Not and I feel bad for Oliveira, who had a great showing his last fight, but again, I think Dana White and the UFC executives realize that, hey, maybe if Chandler can continue knocking out people like that, or even the Diamond come back, that's like, 4 straight big wins for him. If he knocks out Chandler and gets the belt, then maybe they can groom him to something. But I think Oliveira is going to be on the short end of the stick for that title. I think he'll fight the winner of if it is Chandler or Poirier, but I think he's going to be on the short end of the stick, even though he dominated Tony Ferguson.
Yes, he did, and I agree with you. He definitely deserves a title shot. Now, what Poirier said after the fight was very true and honest statement. This right here should have been a title fight. Period. I mean,
I think
it was
Dana
fake.
White. Yeah, Dana White screwed him. Dana White was hoping Conor would win and then get Khabib out. Part 2, blow up the biggest arena that would have a sellout crowd here in the States. Sometime
Because you saw how he backstepped on his words, right?
Yeah. So I know. I totally agree with Poirier. That should have been a title. He should be champion right now. But Dana White was playing. He was playing craps. He was hoping for snake eyes for him to get that part 2 of Conor and Khabib, and it didn't happen. So, but it is what it is. It was good, but not this Sunday is, but next Sunday is, right?
What's that?
Some football game?
Pro Bowl.
Oh no, the Puppy Bowl. The Puppy Bowl.
Puppy Bowl. What about the Bud Bowl? Do they still have the Bud Bowl?
I have never done odds on the Bud Bowl, but they don't do that anymore. I love the Puppy Bowl. It's kind of fun to watch in the afternoon when I'm getting ready to grade prop bets until my eyes fall out of my head. But yeah, Super Bowl was it should be interesting. The best stat is Tom Brady's first year in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes was in kindergarten.
Wow, that's crazy to think about that, man. Well, you just made us age about 5 years, in 30 seconds.
I agree. And everyone keeps that. Twitter was blowing up, and people were DMing when we put the numbers out. Why isn't Kansas City -6? Or they're going to destroy Tampa Bay. Mahomes they should be 6. You odds makers don't know what the heck you're doing. Blah,
and isn't
blah,
that
blah.
what they were all saying about the Green Bay Packers?
No, and that too. But, I mean, it's just funny. Who's the better team that I saw play on Sunday? Oh, yeah, it's Kansas City. No, but it's another game. It's another animal to compete in the Super Bowl. And I know Kansas City's trying to go for back-to-back. If no one knows that watching the show, Kansas City beat Buffalo yesterday. If you guys didn't.
Newsflash.
Newsflash. But it should be interesting. I mean, we posted 3.5 early, and most books did that. And everyone keeps on asking me, why did everyone post 3.5? I even saw 4 get posted up in that game. We wanted Tampa Bay money early. We knew, and like I said, we posted it. I think we posted ours sometime end of third quarter, I want to say. I'm not 100%. And let's face it, Kansas City was dominating that game anyway. So, like, hey, let's get Tampa Bay money early. I was talking to other odds makers all over Vegas and all over the global and say, hey, what are you guys thinking? Blah, 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 blah. Let's grab that Tampa Bay money early, move it to 3, and then we'll just move the juice around for the rest of 2 weeks unless, for some odd reason, we just get dominated by one-side action, which I don't think we're going to get dominated by one-side action. I think it'll stay around 3, move the juice around. I would be totally blown away if we get off of 3 and maybe move it to 3.5 or 2.5 or whatever. But that's what the books did. They wanted that Tampa Bay money early because they figured everyone knows who played the last game, and that was a Kansas City Buffalo. So once everyone's head that Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey and everyone else was just dominating the Buffalo Bills defense. So we knew we had to get some kind of Tampa Bay money because if we put it up 3 right away, people would have been pounding Kansas City -155 on the money line. So we wanted to get that cushion early so we can just start building on what's going to happen for the next 2 weeks. But it should be interesting. I'm kind of want to see if Patrick Mahomes beats Tom Brady, then I would have to say maybe this young pup could be something to maybe Tom Brady and his rings might have to keep an eye out in the back of his head. But if Tom Brady wins another one, can you believe that?
So what I saw that it was his first year in the NFC, he's played more playoff game or more NFC championship games than like a slew of teams that's been in it for years. That's just crazy to think about. Now, we knew that there was something in the water down in Tampa Bay this year when he goes down there, and then the Tampa Bay Rays end up in the World Series, and the Tampa Bay Lightning end up in the NHL Stanley Cup Finals, and now Tampa Bay is in the Super Bowl. What's going on down there? You've been there, I'm sure. I've
been there plenty of times.
What is in Tampa Bay's water this year?
I don't know. It goes like that all the time. Remember the Bruins, Red Sox won it 1 year. I mean, it happens. But again, it's Tom fucking Brady. I mean, it's just how did this? I don't know how people could say he's not the GOAT. I mean, just leadership wise, even if he just got like 3 or 4 rings, just his leadership on how he is in the locker room, how he is it just blows my mind how people can't realize. But it's going to be interesting. But we were texting back and forth today what we're going to talk about today, and I totally forgot about talking about this. And I hate to put a surprise on you, but what do you think about all the quarterback changes that are going to happen in the end?
Wow. I don't know what's better, the quarterback changes, because there's a slew of them, or the coaching shifts and management shifts that has happened. Man, this has been one crazy year. And I said it. Did you remember what I told you? We were talking about who was going to be the Colts quarterback, and I said you'd have to watch Wednesday night's football show.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did you? You don't remember who I said?
You said Stafford.
And all of a sudden, the Indianapolis world around me is sitting here yelling, "Oh, my God, we're going to get Stafford." No, wait. Oh, my God, we're going to get Rodgers. For one, I'm sorry, Aaron Rodgers is not coming to Indianapolis for one reason and one reason only, and that's money. El dinero. And I'm sorry, Matt Stafford fits into the salary. He fits into the scheme. He fits into the organization. I think that would be the best bet for the Colts to go forward for the next 3-4 years, because he still is. He does have that 3 or 4 years in his prime. Now,
you have a veteran leadership around that offensive line, so you have a running game to protect him as well. I mean, I agree with you. There's 2 spots that I thought would fit really, really well with Stafford. That's your Indianapolis Colts. That's the Saints. Saints have no cap space whatsoever. Zero is not a zilch. So they're going to be striking out on a lot of these quarterbacks that are out there. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I think if Aaron Rodgers does leave Green Bay, which people are saying he is, I still think he might stay for at least one more year. But if he doesn't, I think if he does leave, I think he goes out to Cali. I think it's either Rams or San Francisco. It's one of those two. Which if it's the Rams, that means Goff is out there looking for a starting job. So it's going to be crazy, and we're not even talking about Dak Prescott, that's coming out.
Yep. Now, so you talked about this last week, I believe, and you were talking about the domino effect of Dak Prescott being the domino that starts the realm. Now, what if? Let's just hypothetically speaking, of course, Dak Prescott leaves, goes to New England. Okay, Aaron Rodgers goes to Dallas.
I don't know if he'll pick Dallas. I think he would still pick San Fran or LA, because I think the situation's better there. The defense on both LA and San Francisco is much better than the Dallas Cowboys. I think the pieces that San Francisco has on offense, their running attack, their wide receiving crew, their tight ends, and then they still got Bosa. I still think he ends up in California if he does end up leaving. But keep an eye out for these 2 teams that no one's talking about that could be surprisingly jumping and getting a quarterback, a name. I need to put all the quarterbacks in a group A, B, and C and all that. Keep an eye out for the Denver Broncos and keep an eye out for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, Denver Broncos were able to sneak and get your guy Peyton Manning over there when no one was really talking about the Denver Broncos getting Peyton Manning that time that he left and won a Super Bowl there.
Let's clear the air, guys. I'm not a Colts fan. I'll support the Colts, but everybody knows I'm an Eagles fan. Come on now. Just because I live in Circle City does not mean that I'm a fan.
I'm sorry. I apologize on air. Bet your ass, P fans. I apologize to label him as a Colts, but he should be because he's an Eagles fan and he's stuck with Carson Wentz. But that's a totally different show. A totally different show.
I saw a mock draft of Justin Fields being our first pick. from Ohio State. It's like, are you serious? What are we doing?
Yeah,
People put some stupid shit out there on when it comes to mock drafts. Okay.
Yeah, I don't look at mock drafts whatsoever, but it's gonna be crazy because, like I said, I mean the Raiders. I mean, I heard they want to get rid of Carr. I mean, Miami, are they really 100% sold on Tua?
Doesn't sound
Bears,
like it.
Yeah, the Bears are looking for a quarterback, so that means Shabinsky's going to be out there. And you know, one team you might want to. I mean, I was going down the list of who doesn't need a quarterback and who does, but look for Cincinnati to make a splash on their backup quarterback because who knows how healthy. What's his? I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Burrow comes back right away. I mean, from that kind of a knee injury. So, like, look for someone like maybe a Chabinsky to be a backup, or a Ryan Fitzpatrick, or something like that. So I would think that even if people think, oh, there's no way Bengals are going to get a quarterback, well, they might need one because how healthy is Burrow going to be unless they draft one?
Well, and is he actually going to make it for week 1 of the season with the surgery? I don't know. That was.
I'm hoping Stafford does go to a winning team. For anyone that had to play for the Lions all those years and not make a peep, not saying, hey, we stink, I'm tired of rebuilding, give me some help, blah, 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 blah. Just, I would like to see him go to a winning team. But I'll tell you one thing, whoever Aaron Rodgers goes to, if he does leave, that's the favorite to win that conference. If it's San Francisco, if it's the Rams or something, because he was much better than any of those quarterbacks that would probably land somebody else.
Can you see Dak going to New England?
If you'd asked me that question before the season started, I would have said no. But Cam Newton said he had nothing but high praises for the whole organization, the offensive and all that. I would say yeah now, because I would think if you're Dak Prescott or anybody else, you would say, hey, you would call Cam and say, hey, how was that? How was it following Tom Brady? Or how was it playing for the New England Patriots to have so many rules in that locker room? And so I would say, yeah, a year ago, I'd be like, no, wait, Dak Prescott ain't going to go there. But I would say what Cam Newton said behind interviews and all that about the system and how everything goes there, yeah, I could totally see Dak Prescott going there.
Okay.
It's gonna what be about Shawn? I think Carson Wentz would have fit really well in New England. He's a system quarterback that doesn't have to rely on a lot of slot running, doesn't have to really rely on his arm, stuff like that. I thought he would fit well in New England.
Well, he's not a pocket passer. He's just not a pocket passer. I don't see him in there. I could see him fitting more so, honestly, in Detroit. You know, what if there's a three-way trade deal with Detroit, Philadelphia, and Indianapolis, where Detroit gets, Wentz, Stafford goes to here in the Indy, and Philly gets second round pick, first round pick,
something like that. I would if I was thinking, I would think the Lions would probably draft a quarterback and maybe just probably get a veteran to maybe fix around him. But I would highly shock if they pick a name for it because they're in a total rebuild, brand new head coach. Keep an eye out for like either Jameis or Hill from the Saints. If they get released and all that, maybe them jump over to Detroit because that's their offensive, their assistant head coach came from the Saints to be the head coaching job over Detroit.
What about Minnesota? There's got to be something working to say, okay, Kirk Cousins, I'm sorry, we just can't do this anymore.
Well, I think there's a lot of quarterbacks or a lot of teams that are probably going to give one more year to their quarterbacks. And I would say Cousins is probably one of them. I would think Matt Ryan for the Falcons, I think, is another one. Hey, if we go downward or no improvements, I think both of those two. Everyone thinks Matt Ryan might be released or traded this year, which that means NFC South could have all new quarterbacks. I'm hearing the same thing coming out of Carolina as they might be done with Bridgewater as well. So that'd be kind of weird if all four teams have brand new quarter.
What if they just switch?
Yeah, but I would think I would probably say no on the Vikings. Maybe even the New York Giants. Maybe they have one more year with their quarterback. But I think this year I would see Cousins and both Matt Ryan play one more year for their teams, and then maybe if things go bad, they'll be released or traded or whatever.
So what if Aaron Rodgers does end up leaving Green Bay? Who do you think that they would?
You got Love. You got the Love machine.
Well, that has been systematic with Brett Favre, and then bringing up Aaron Rodgers and all that.
I would think they would probably use him and maybe again get someone a veteran and to see if he is the next quarterback. If he isn't, you can just plug that veteran in and then go from there, because they still have some key free agents that I think if Brett Favre leaves and all that, I think their center that's a free agent, I don't think he resigns. I think they might be in a small rebuild because that division's still kind of wide open with the Bears getting a new quarterback, the Lions being the Lions. I would think maybe the Vikings will probably be the favorite. I don't want to say heavy favorite, but the favorite to win a division if Brett Favre. I almost said Brett Favre. If Rodgers leaves.
Man, you're taking us all back. You've probably aged us 10 years in this 30-minute segment. So thank you. Thank you so much.
My eyes are still burning for Brett Favre sending me his weenie picture. But
yeah, exactly. An interception your way.
Yeah, I had to tweet him back. Wrong person. So I was like, apologize.
Wrong number. That's good. All right, real quick. Move to the center of the ring, per se. You say that this is going to be a complete debacle. I'd say I would have to agree with you, but let's hear it. Caleb Caleb Plant versus Caleb Trucks.
Yeah, I mean, people need to watch this because Caleb Plant here's another young fighter that it can be a big name in the boxing world. He's a young fighter, got power in both hands, love his jab work.
Yes.
He works everything off the jab, and everything off the jab is always successful when he's in the groove. So, I mean, Caleb Trucks will hang around. He's got a lot of heart. No one has an over-under round prop. I would be shocked if it's around 7.5. I think Plant will probably KO him maybe in the late rounds, maybe the championship rounds. But I think Trucks has a lot of heart. I think he'll stick around. But I think it's easy, Caleb Plant. I mean, me and you have a discussion. It's just going to be a domination on this one.
So you think this is just one of those one-hitter possibilities from Trucks' side?
Yeah. I mean, he does a lot of good body work, and I think that's what he would need to do to staying around his fight. Because if he attacks the body, that means Trucks' jab won't be as effective because he'll be trying to protect that body. So I think he needs to attack the body early and maybe try to get Plant in those late rounds, see if he gasses out or whatever. Because I mean, you know that in boxing. Heavy punch, you try to get them into the late rounds because their punches, don't hurt as much from the first round to the 9th round because you're. Yep.
And the more you chop down a tree, the harder or the easier it gets to fall down.
So I think if you're Caleb Trucks, I think the longer this fight goes, you'll have a shot. Does he have a shot? I mean, in the fight game or anything, UFC, bare knuckles, Bellator boxing. Everyone has one shot that can get knocked down anybody. It all depends on where you hit that shot and if you see it coming. So it's a puncher's champ, but I'll be rooting for Caleb Plant because, again, he's a young fighter, and I think he's one of the younger ones that can't wait to keep on watching.
Nice. I like it. I'm going to agree with you. I can't go wrong with agreeing.
He's minus 5,000. I mean.
Oh, mercy. So what does that mean? For every $100, you get what? For
every $5,000 you put down, you're going to win $100.
That ain't enough.
No.
That ain't enough.
No.
All right. No. Well, before we go, we always have to do the Doc Sports Pick of the Night. That's right. Brought to you by Doc Sports. That's right. Text BW Sports to 29022 right now for $60 free into your account. No credit card and no obligation. Here's the question, sir. You threw me literally a all caps answer on this earlier. Why is there no women's college basketball bets?
We do put them up during their tournament, their March Madness tournaments, but every game, sometimes if there's an ESPN game like Tennessee, Connecticut, or Stanford, whatever, a big marquee matchup, we'll put a number up, but I used to, was it 4 or 5 years ago? I used to try to put up a whole bunch of key games of that game. And I would do about an hour, hour and a half work and got zero action or just all one-sided action. And it's no disrespect to the ladies because I love watching lady hoops. WNBA is probably one of my top 5 favorite sports to watch, bet, and cash. But college women's basketball is just not goes over as well as it's actually the WNBA, which is kind of shocking because they play just as hard, play just as fast, and some great games people are missing out there.
Yes, there are, and I get it. You know, the UConn, the Notre Dame games, the South Carolina, Tennessee games. You know, I get it, but man, Damon, I'm not gonna lie. The one was sitting there looking. He goes, "Man, can you get these over and unders for me for his his daily picks and stuff?" So I'm like, "Yeah, I can find them." No, I can't.
Nope.
That's when our buddy Raphael Esparza gets a text from his buddy over here in Indianapolis. Hey, man, can you help me out? Literally, nobody does them.
Apologize for that. I'll see what I can find out and see what I can do. But like I said, I know a lot of the bosses that I know and other companies and all that. I hate to say it's not worth the time.
No, we get it. We get it. If there's no action on it and there's no moving on it, there's obviously no reason to waste your time in putting it out there. I get it. And your bosses, I'm sure, are appreciating that easy money going out.
You can bet the X Games. What more do you want?
Hey, you could. And I'm going to tell you right now, folks, if you don't follow this man on Instagram, at least on Instagram, and get his free daily picks and his wonderful poll questions of the day, because if you fade the poll, you're damn near determined to win.
The poll has lost 5 straight. They lost both the games yesterday. So yeah, and when the poll, I tell people if you like me or not me, but the poll is when it's cold, it's cold. When it's hot, and right now it's cold.
Well, it's doing better in basketball than it did football.
Yes, I agree on that. We'll see what happens tonight. Right? I think the poll was what Denver, Dallas.
Yes, 1.5.
Yeah, 1.5. And last time I checked, it's the betting.
I picked Denver.
The betting public was on Dallas last time I checked.
Me, I might be good.
Might be good tonight.
Raphael, tell them as always where they can find you at, sir.
You can find me over at DocSports.com. You can find me over at mybookie.ag. Find me on Instagram at Raphael Esparza and Twitter at VSI DocSports.
That's right. And you can find him on Monday night, 7:30 Eastern time. Tim, I don't know where I got that. Right here. I don't know. He's behind you. He's looking at me, waving.
Hi, Tim.
Right here, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, Monday nights with Bet Your Ass with Raphael Esparza. Raphael, as always, thank you, sir. We can't wait to talk to you about a little Super Bowl action, some major Super Bowl action next week. Puppy Bowl action. I'm expecting some prop bets to come out of there. We're going to talk about, obviously, I'm sure you put up prop bets as far as commercial-wise goes, so we'll have to look into that with you as well, and it's always going to be fun, and I cannot wait, sir. You have an amazing week, and I will see you next week.
Take it easy. Have a fantastic week.
Peace.